Yo, family, what's good? Welcome back again to another daily live stream where, of course, today is a very pivotal day. We have Jerome Powell addressing the nation, the FOMC meeting. Rate cuts will likely be coming through. I believe the odd chance right now is in the 90% chance. I'll have a quick look again right now on CME. We are currently about to start it as we speak right now. Okay, it's not showing up right now. I'm guessing rate cuts have already been issued. We'll find out more throughout this stream. This stream is going to be one where we're going to be going along line the FOMC meeting, the rate cuts, the speech from Jerome Powell, and kind of dissecting it a little bit, making our projections on what's going to happen as a result. You can see Bitcoin's currently down 0.5% at 92,000 on the bottom level of this support tier, which is a very important level. Long and short of it, what Jerome Powell says right now is going to either send the markets up or send the markets down. It's as simple as that, of course, up or down, right? But we've got rate cuts. So that's good, right? The thing is, it's what Jerome Powell says that will have significant implications on where the market moves for the remainder of the year. Of course, my VIPs, we have been aware for this for about a month now, something like that. We are perfectly aware. I know Bank Bingo can attest to it as well when he watched through the executive roundtable that's available to my members. Also kind of giving a general understanding of when the markets are going to likely move following Jerome Powell's talk, which is going to be starting, I believe, at 7:30 my time, which is 25 minutes from now. So while we have a little bit of time before that, we're going to try and get through as much of the content as possible. So hopefully it'll all be done on the hour for 8. So then Gosu and everyone else who like watching the football can go watch Man City batter Real Madrid. That being said, family, if you enjoy, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, and we'll get into the pleasantries a little bit later on. This time around, we're going to go into the content straight away, and then we'll say hello to people in just a second. But I can see all the OGs are back, so welcome back. So Kaspa currently up 1.75%, valued at almost 5.1 cents right now. It's just at another level of, support right now. Again, depending on Bitcoin's trajectory and what Jerome Powell says, Kaspa's either going to rally up in suit or it will fall back down, going to other levels, other bottoms, if you will. Of course, the support we're looking at right now for Kaspa will be around 4.8. We've seen Kaspa rebound off this level a number of times. 4.8 is quite a strong level for Kaspa right now. So that's what we're looking at. Will Kaspa find support there if it goes down more, or will it end up correcting further down to levels around 4.5? Of course, time will tell. And it all unfold throughout the stream as well. Now, when I was looking through my comments on the video that I made a few days back on the stream yesterday, understandably, I was met with a lot of negativity because for the most part, my stream yesterday, while informative, it was quite bearish for Kaspa. A realistic outlook of what's happening in the project right now, people did not like that. Which my response to that, for one, is I'm not here to shill you rubbish. That's not my intention. I'm not going to tell you. That's why I've not done price predictions for Kaspa. I don't tell you $10 Kaspa because that doesn't seem realistic for me in this current time frame. In the future to be, sure, if we get the adoption, yes. But right now, there's no reason why I should believe that. But people didn't like the fact that I had said that we've got quite a long time frame until we see these significant developments. And this is me just literally reiterating what Kaspa Core said as well. Understand the FUD, and I'm sorry if that made you feel that way. In that regard, we have got some other content. I say other content, we've got continuous developments from what was spoken about yesterday, which actually flipped that narrative from bearish a bit more towards bullish again, as some Kaspa Core members have now come out, like Michael Sutton, like Crypto Aspect, like Hans Moog, all reiterating that we should be seeing Vprogs hopefully coming out in 2026, at least the first version, the MVP of it. We'll get to that in a very short moment. So the first thing to go in regard to Kaspa content here, 2 days back, we've been seeing HTX, Exchange, Huobi Global posting continuously these sort of, more or less every day. It hasn't been every day, but it's been relatively frequently. These sort of images here of load of, different meme projects involved and whatnot. And we've seen a total of 5 now. The first 3 had Kaspa. There was one on a cat toe, one in a green cosmos, like in space, and there was one just to the right of the very first post, which says this month. This one was the first one, or this is the fourth HTX post, and the first one that trust me, I tried. I could not see Kaspa anywhere in sight. These little green specks, you can see that for me is just, this kind of beam graphics, so I don't think that represents Kaspa at all. Maybe I am just blind and I can't see it, but I couldn't see Kaspa there at all, right? So I made the post, did HTX and Justin Sun just boycott Kaspa like we've been boycotting Binance, as a little joke, which again was not very well received, but hey, is what it is. Either way, we now have another post, which the question now being asked, are we back? Because we have this next post from HTX, which you can see again, no Kaspa logo in sight, except for this very out of place just letter K on the hat of the cat. Now, it's not the same exact K for Kaspa, because Kaspa's K is inversed, but could that again be the little inkling that Kaspa is still on their radar to list this month? I know I have had speculation from people in my community saying that maybe they're waiting for the Fed chair decision to see if the markets will be in a bit of an uptrend, and that would be the catalyst to then launch Kaspa, because you want to launch it when the markets are good or the markets are bad. Not a bad thesis. I'm not opposed to that. We are under the understanding or impression that HTX will launch Kaspa this month. Will it happen or not? Time will tell. My impression of HTX is a decent exchange. It's nothing Binance or Coinbase level, but it is a decent exchange, one of the bigger American exchanges. Of course, there is some negativity around them due to Justin Sun having allegations around him, which I believe are justified. The premise of being those, HTX still a big exchange, it will cause price moves. And I'm going to reiterate this time and time again, because seemingly people forget that I'm saying this. Vprogs, Dagnite, 100 block per second, MEV, Oracle, all these developments are massive for Kaspa. These are not price movers. In saying that, when you saw 10 BPS, you did see the price move to an extent. Going back to May 5th, all the way back here, you can see that the price did move following 10 BPS. May 5th was the day 10 BPS launched, so around here. And then you saw Kaspa rally in value with the market up about almost 50%, 45%. So they do cause some moves in the value, or at least this coincided with the move for Kaspa. But these are foundation building blocks which need to see adoption to be appreciated properly. These are not price movers. Exchange listings, namely Binance and Coinbase, these are price movers, because this is a literal way to inject liquidity into the markets very quickly, get more exposure to a whole new exchange, a whole new market, if you will. These do cause price moves. While Kraken was maybe a little bit lackluster to some people, Kraken happened back here. So from the announcement from KEF about it's going to happen, and then Kraken's actual confirmation, which happened, actually no, Kraken's confirmation was here. KEF confirmed or hinted strongly that Kraken was going to launch in November around here, which caused a move as well. So if you take it from KEF, you're looking at a 70% move. Taking it from Kraken's actual confirmation, you're still looking at a 50% move as well. So, and that was again at a higher market cap of Kaspa. So that actually is a much bigger deal than 50% move down here with TBPS in regards to price movement. So HTX for me, I cannot ascertain whether it'll be bigger than Kraken's move or not. I think it will be decent. I'll be honest, maybe I'm expecting another 50% move, which at this current market would put Kaspa, again, as I stated in a few streams back, probably just touching this trend line, this massive asymmetric triangle pattern here. Just trying to regain that possibly, if we do get that soon enough, and if Kaspa is at the current value it's at. Of course, time will tell. We can look at HTX real quickly, and according to CoinMarketCap, currently is number 10, 3 billion 24-hour trading volume with just short of 5 million weekly visits. It is a big exchange, so I think it will cause a price move for Kaspa. Just don't expect it to go to the moon. If anyone's telling you it's going to go to the moon, I'm sorry, they're lying to you. They're trying to spread FOMO and hype because they want you to click back again. And I get it, it's a good strategy. That's why everyone is so big. But my channel is not about, my channel is not meant to be the typical crypto YouTube channel. It's trying to actually spread education. And I do even more detailed educational knowledge spreading in my VIP as well. But I'll talk about that later on. Either way, just trying to bring a level of understanding to you so you don't get sold a false, because that's the biggest problem with Kaspa as well, in my belief. so many community members, even now, they're still very much hanging on to that FOMO belief. And don't get me wrong, Kaspa's unbelievable. The most innovative technology and inception since Bitcoin, especially with DAG coming out. No doubt about that in my mind. But there's a FOMO level of Kaspa because people still are so hell-bent on this whole $10 price target that was pushed by certain content creators at the early stages. So they're still holding on to that. This cycle has taught me to really, really understand the importance of macroeconomics, price movement, and knowing when support and levels of resistance are. You can find all information about that in my VIP, which is why we have been locked in so much more so and able to significantly increase our wealth in that community as well. Now, we can get into building off from yesterday. So again, I saw some comments upset about my mannerism and the way I was delivering the news yesterday, which seemed a little bit bearish, which again was mainly pushed by Shy, because he was saying that we're not going to see Vprogs anytime soon. Michael Sutton said possibly we'll see elements of Vprogs next month, or for the developments by Q1 2026, next 2 months, he said. So I said that I'm still bullish on Kaspa, but I did ultimately say that I'm not so sure if we will actually see it as soon as people expect, because this is what other people have been saying about it, and they do have a level of intellect about them that I cannot compare to, so I've taken their word at it. Now we have some further developments and public stuff talking in that regard. Michael Sutton had a post here, we'll get to that a bit more in a moment, but I wanted to quickly showcase this because we then have this post here from Shy. Again, it's building on Shy. Shy said, I don't think Vprogs are enough, and also saying that it'll take a long time to come out. Aspect here corrected. He added further clarification or response to Shy, right? So, for some reason, it's not going to show my post because that would be, okay, here it is. So here, so this is my post. I've applied to crypto aspect, and this gives for what we care about. This is the main part of it, which will show it in aspect post as well. Looks like the MVP of CAS Vprogs could be released in 6 to 8 months. So by the end of Q2 2026, early Q3 2026, quote, if properly executed with concise and coordinated efforts. So if they all band their manpower together, there's a definite possibility we see MVP Vprogs or Kaspa. Now, what does MVP mean? It doesn't mean most valuable player. It means minimal viable product. So the way to understand is basically it's just a safe enough version of Vprogs that can be released to the public. It is not by any means a final design. If it was a final design, then, well, that would be insane, but it's not one. It's like basically a testnet version. They'll test it, see if it's all well and good, and if it's all, and you might be lucky, you never know, because 10 BPS, in a sense, even though there was a lot of grilling and fine tuning going on with that, the first mainnet release of 10 BPS was in a sense an MVP. It had already done a testnet version. They already kind of tested that, I guess, but they launched 10 BPS and it was a complete renowned success. That was fantastic. You might get lucky. And you see the Vprogs come out in a very, very successful fashion, and then it's just some fine tweaking, and then it's all well and good. But as it stands right now, there's a possibility we see MVP or Vprogs coming out very, very soon. Let's look into Aspect's post here. Talking about the Vprogs paper is really just a set of guidelines, so nothing to really take too much note of how that correlates to how far we are to Vprogs, if you will. Vprogs are designed as a way, basically the same as on-chain smart contracts. If done properly, the UX would be indistinguishable from traditional high-performance smart contract capable chains. Vprogs are absolutely possible and feasible. So even though Shy said in his post, we don't know if it's impossible yet, it's still an early design. Aspect here is adamant that it is definitely possible. We've been doing research and development on the domain for 1.5 years now, and that is something that I think is very significant. I think Shy did respond to this post, but I'm not going to go into the response in this stream. Maybe later on, I might post it in my Discord community free server. Check it out down below. But according to Aspect here, they've been researching Vprogs for over 1.5 years. So funnily enough, since Kaspa started crashing in value, they've been researching Vprogs since then, and there've been no red flags right now as it stands. Adoption-wise, Vprogs are similar to any other smart contract system. The economics are different. There's a one-size-fits-all solution, which I know I did when I looked through Shah's reply. He did agree or amend his response in this regard. He's like, okay, this is the only part that aspect did catch me out on. Sure, fair enough. Anyways, blah, 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 blah. Again, you can read through it for yourself. And then we go into this part here. The problem is the fact that the complexity of the project and layers involved are extremely multidisciplinary. And this is not something that a single developer can construct. Neither, as a developer, would I be able to. In my recent comms with Michael Sutton, I stated that, in fact, the complexity of this is comparable to KIP 1, Kaspa Improvement Proposal 1. It's a very large and complex project. However, if properly executed with concise and coordinated efforts, an MVP, minimal viable product, so an early version of Vprogs, can be achieved in 6 to 8 months from now. He's trying to talk to Tom Belinsky, Michael Sutton, Hans Moog, Fresh Air, Max, and some other of these so-called developers to kind of get them all aligned to push this narrative forward to get Vprogs out as soon as feasibly possible, which is really, really reassuring news. So we can see some further developments in that regard, as Michael Sutton said, in the next coming months, which would be huge. And then we can see hopefully an MVP version of Vprogs coming out in the next following months from that, going into mid-2020, going to Trump's midterms. If there's a coordinated effort and the timelines align, that would be really, really big news. So we'll have to wait and see if this will take shape. If it does, then basically everything I said yesterday is redundant. But to reiterate, it's an MVP. It's the first early version. It may still take them a lot longer to get a fully seamless, perfectly working Vprog architecture on Kaspa. It may take a little bit longer than that. We'll have to wait and see. It's not a means to be necessarily bearish. It looks like there's lots being done right now in earnest by Kaspa Core to get adoption, to spread adoption. And with understanding that IGRA Labs smart contracts, their testnet element, there should be an element of that going live this month, a very, very private testnet, not testnet, sorry, a very, very private mainnet, kind of testing the mainnet. And then you'll start seeing the private mainnet kind of step-by-step released in Q1 2026 and the public mainnet coming out in March 2026. So you are seeing some significant developments that would hopefully elicit adoption for Kaspa in the next 3 to 4 months or so, and then we can see where it progresses from there as well. So that is reassuring stuff, and this could also be a big prize move for Kaspa if the adoption catches on. Once more, Vprogs smart contracts, they are not price pumpers. They are not. If someone tells you they are lying. It's not as black and white as that. These are building blocks. These need adoption. The adoption injects liquidity into Kaspa, builds up the FOMO and the belief of project that the miner rewards gets up, the security budget gets better. That correlates to the price going up. That's how it works, step by step. The only thing that moves the price immediately is macroeconomic news, hence why I'm doing so much research on that and sharing that with my VIPs, and even you here in a more surface level, but even here in the streams and exchange listings. That's what moves the price. Which, remember, Tom Belinsky stated, which I showcased yesterday, that we shouldn't even be chasing Binance anymore. We should just be trying to basically smear them and say you only launched crap, you only launched Pepe. Try and get them to switch back to their actual cyberpunk ways of what crypto is actually meant to be about. Now, I know Jerome Powell's meeting is quickly approaching, his talk. Most of the stuff here is basically building on top of that as well, which I'm going to probably make a video later today / tomorrow, giving a bit of a more compact, just step-by-step on a rundown of everything and how we can analyze it all going through, so stay tuned for that. And I was also going through this Cap Bridge security budget, this audit again, but again, running short of a bit of time right now, so I may not, but I will go through other stuff real quickly. I'm also going to go through these 2 posts here, which, will hopefully just nicely coincide to get into the 2 posts before we then look at Federal Reserve meeting going on right here, which I'm going to mute that for the time being, so you don't end up clashing with my voice. yes, let me get some questions real quickly. So to get through it all now, welcome back, family. It's been a minute. Greg, you're doing very, very well, sir. Miles told me he sold his Kappa for XRP. Yeah. I wish he was back here to defend himself right now. I don't know where he is. I'm going to have to reach out to him. I'm going to message him after this stream and just check on him right now. Purple tie army, let's go. If you know, you know. That is good, yeah, for those who know. Blue tie normally means Jerome Powell's bearish and hawkish. Purple tie normally is a bit more dovish. We'll have to see exactly what he says in the meeting in about 10 minutes or so, well, about 5 minutes or so now. Rate cuts was expected, so I'm not surprised by seeing rate cuts come through. But you can see, despite rate cuts coming through, markets not really move right now. Why? Because the markets have priced in rate cuts already. What they're waiting for is Jerome Powell's speech. We cannot see hawkish undertones. If we do, Bitcoin will likely go down. If we see neutral, you might see a bit of a dip because people right now want some hopium, they want some FOMO. You want to see a more dovish undertone for Jerome Powell saying that we need to basically start QE or something along those lines, or more rate cuts expected more rate cuts than expected before his term ends next year. One of those two would be good. And of course, there's many other aspects taken into account as well for market trajectory, which again I explained in my executive roundtable on Sunday, and equally to my VIPs yesterday as well. So if you want to find out sort of information, you can learn a hell of a lot more, be better prepared, and analyze and follow the markets a lot better on in the VIP. You can join the free trials available as well, so you can get it access for it for free. All links down below in the description. And it was not me, bingo, don't worry. Mr. Master's doing it as coalition. Welcome, Indigenous. You're doing very, very well. It's great to have you back. And I don't know why YouTube do that, but I'm glad you got the notification this time round. Welcome back, Ghostly Bros. You're doing very, very well, my man. And YouTube, Brett, happy FOMC indeed. Welcome back, Dimitar as well. Let's go. Price is highly manipulated, real price of 50 cents. And we could say that, but I mean, I could care to agree, but at the same time, we can't. That's a mindset I try not to have too much, because I could say that, but at the same time, you're better off just adjusting to the time. I know that's not you trying to say it in a negative light. Kaspa should be higher value right now for what it is, definitely. But instead of having that mindset, just think Kaspa, that's value right now. How do I better prepare myself or position myself to maximize on this discount or to make gains in other ways? Again, Kaspa for me is the strongest asset in the space, but I, as you all know, I do dabble in other assets as well, because I believe they are also other means of making money, be it through trading, be it through yield farms, be it through other assets as well. Should have reached $1 a year ago. I mean, we could all love to believe that as well, although the market has been terrible. So yeah, FOMC always yield chops for a week that follows. Then after that, the market's direction is revealed. Lock-in boys, not financial advice. Yeah. You will get a bit of a reaction today, and then you get actual confirmation a little bit after that. Although the following week is equally going to be critically important because of Japan. Again, if you know what I'm talking about, I've posted about this in my VIP. I made that clear in my last executive roundtable on Sunday as well. You can even just join the membership on YouTube and you can watch that live stream to know what I'm talking about as well and be prepared for what is to come. Just heard they dropped by 25 basis points. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing it from you lot right now. I can quickly check that actually. Forex Factory. Yep, there you go. Previous 4%, now it's 2.75, so it's dropped by 25 basis points. Perfect. Welcome back, Lau, and you to Hugo, and you to any names. Welcome back. And you Triple D, welcome back indeed. Blaze, what's up, my man? You're the go. I appreciate you very, very much. I try. Hopefully Powell isn't too hawkish. That's my hope as well. And yes, you're completely right. If you enjoy the stream, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more, turn on notification bells so you know when I go live, or tune to the Discord server because I made announcements today about me going live a little earlier than usual. In the last stream, you mentioned you got a picture with Yoni. No, unfortunately, I didn't. I said I wish I did. There are pictures of me in and around the other Kaspa community members. I mean, there is a picture. I'm not sure if I'll be able to find it easily like that, but there's a group picture with Sompi in that, which I'm also there quite close to him. So I haven't got a one-to-one, unfortunately. When I met him, I didn't have the courage to ask him. I know, right? Crazy. How shameless of me. Or how shameful of me even. But I'm sure next time I meet him, because there will hopefully be other opportunities that I will get that. I will muster up the courage to do that, you know. Welcome back, LB, bro. You're doing very, very well. So I'll be buying or selling 6 months. Interesting. It depends on Jerome Powell. I'm still very much 50-50 right now. Long term, I'm talking year plus or even 2026 kind of. I'm bullish. But the next 6 months, very 50-50, honestly. I smash in you. Thank you very much, my man. Markets won't do anything based on 25 basis point cut. Yeah, it's the 20. Well, because the markets did. The markets did it back here. Or Bitcoin, you can see Bitcoin did it back here. This is in pricing in the rate cuts here, starting to rally up. That was 20. It did it already preemptively. What matters now is what Jerome Powell says, which we're now about to start. Smash the like feelers. Indeed, Enzo, you're completely right. Negativity is needed sometimes. There's a balance. Exactly. I like being the guy who spreads hope and FOMO and that sort of stuff, but I also want to bring education. Education is the first and foremost principle. If education coincides with FOMO, then great. If it coincides with bearish news, then I'll put a lighter tone on it, but I'll be real with you all. That's my goal here. Now, I will be getting to more of the question stuff very, very shortly, but I believe we should be starting this right now. So let's all take a listen to what Jerome Powell has to say, shall we?
Maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Although important federal government data for the past couple of months have yet to be released, available public and private sector data suggests that the outlook for employment and inflation has not changed as much since our meeting in October. Conditions in the labor market appear to be gradually cooling, and inflation remains somewhat elevated. In support of our goals, in light of the balance of risks to employment and inflation, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. As a separate matter, we also decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities solely for the purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time, thus supporting effective control of our policy rate. I will have more to say about monetary policy and its implementation after briefly reviewing economic developments. Although some key government data have yet to be released, available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. Consumer spending appears to have remained solid, and business fixed investment has continued to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector remains weak. The temporary shutdown of the federal government has likely weighed on economic activity in the current quarter, but these effects should be mostly offset by higher growth next quarter, reflecting the reopening. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects that real GDP will rise 1.7% this year and 2.3% next year, somewhat stronger than projected in September. In the labor market, although official employment data for October and November are delayed, available evidence suggests that both layoffs and hiring remain low, and that both households' perceptions of job availability and firms' perceptions of hiring difficulty continue to decline. The official report on the labor market for September, the most recent release, showed that the unemployment rate continued to edge up, reaching 4.4%, and that job gains had slowed significantly since earlier in the year. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen in recent months. In our SEP, the median projection of the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Very little data on inflation have been released since our meeting in October. Total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices also rose 2.8%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up, reflecting the effects of tariffs. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have declined from their peaks earlier in the year, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 2.9% this year and 2.4% next year, a bit lower than the median projection in September. Thereafter, the median falls to 2%. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 3.5 to 3.75%. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. There is no risk-free path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals. A reasonable base case is that the effects of tariffs on inflation will be relatively short-lived, effectively a one-time shift in the price level. Our obligation is to make sure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. But with downside risks to employment having risen in recent months, the balance of risks has shifted. Our framework calls for us to take a balanced approach in promoting both sides of our dual mandate. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to lower our policy rate by a quarter percentage point. With today's decision, we have lowered our policy rate 3/4 of a percentage point over our last 3 meetings. This further normalization of our policy stance should help stabilize the labor market while allowing inflation to resume its downward trend toward 2% once the effects of tariffs have passed through. The adjustments to our policy stance since September bring it within a range of plausible estimates of neutral and leave us well-positioned to determine the extent and timing of additional adjustments to our policy rate based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our summary of economic projections, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path of the federal funds rate under what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.4% at the end of 2026 and 3.1% at the end of 2027, unchanged from September. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Monetary policy is not on a preset course, and we will make our decisions on a meeting-by-meeting basis. Let me turn now to issues related to the implementation of monetary policy, with the reminder that these issues are separate from and have no implications for the stance of monetary policy. In light of the continued tightening in money market interest rates relative to our administered rates and other indicators of reserve market conditions, the committee judged that reserve balances have declined to ample levels. Accordingly, at today's meeting, the committee decided to initiate purchases of shorter-term Treasury securities, mainly Treasury bills, for the sole purpose of maintaining an ample supply of reserves over time. Such increases in our securities holdings ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range and are necessary because the growth of the economy leads to rising demand over time for our liabilities, including currency and reserves. As detailed in a statement released today by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, reserve management purchases will amount to $40 billion in the first month and may remain elevated for a few months to alleviate expected near-term pressures in money markets. Thereafter, we expect the size of reserve management purchases to decline, though the actual pace will depend on market conditions. In our implementation framework, an ample supply of reserves means that the federal funds rate and other short-term interest rates are primarily controlled by the setting of our administered rates, rather than day-to-day discretionary interventions in money markets. In this regime, standing repurchase agreement, or repo operations, are a critical tool to ensure that the federal funds rate remains within its target range, even on days of elevated pressures in money markets. Consistent with this view, the committee eliminated the aggregate limit on standing repo operations. These operations are intended to support monetary policy implementation and smooth market functioning and should be used when economically sensible. To conclude, the Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing our inflation sustainably down to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. At the Fed, we will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Right, now let's talk about that, shall we? What is everyone's perception on Jerome Powell's talk? If we can listen to the questions as well, I didn't intend to, I don't really plan to listen to the questions. I think we kind of got a general basis on what the Fed plan right now. And you can see from the markets, they seem to agree with my thesis. There was a bit more dovish undertones. Wasn't anything crazy. But he said what we already know, inflation's still quite high, elevated, sticky, but unemployment has slowed down quite a lot. So it was as anything, Jerome Powell's when he's hawkish, you can tell. When he's dovish, you can't tell. He's very much trying to thread the line, but for me, I found it more towards neutral. Maybe slightly, I mean, it had elements of all of it in there. I found it neutral, maybe slightly leaning more towards dovish undertones. See how the markets react properly soon enough. But right, earlier today, everything was in the red. Now we're seeing a bit of movement now, some green coming in. So hopefully this will be a sign. Still too early to call it right now. And I'm sure we'll find more clarity coming through soon. But yeah, from my understanding of that, he spoke about how they are also starting to buy back some of their own treasuries as well. So they are starting some elements of QE. If I'm not mistaken, Jerome Powell said that they are trying to buy back some of their own treasuries right now. So they are starting some elements of QE, which is good. It is good. While admitting that inflation is still quite sticky, but unemployment has slowed down significantly, that also is reassuring as well. The only thing that's a bit unnerving is that he said that unemployment has slowed down, which is true, but he said that the need for jobs has also fallen as well. And the reason why, because of AI has actually hindered the labour market quite significantly. So while unemployment's come down because of the current economy, the need for people has also come down as well. So unfortunately, that is still not ideal. So I think it was that's the hawkish element that I latched onto there. Him saying that unemployment is not as necessary, or unemployment is not as necessary right now. But he did highlight some dovish elements, talking about buying back their own treasuries and whatnot. So we'll see how the markets react. I believe that we'll see a lot more reaction in the market in a few minutes or a few hours once the whole meeting's officially ended and the questions have been asked. But yeah, this is interesting. It's interesting. What will ultimately matter today? Obviously, yes, the meeting will continue on. Where does Bitcoin end up? If Bitcoin manages to hold above this level here, and the market digests the news from Jerome Powell and perceives that as more dovish and more bullish leaning, you'll probably see Bitcoin trying to make a move past this level of resistance right here. Again, vice versa, we could definitely end up. That's a mistake. You could definitely end up seeing Jerome Powell. If people market perceive it as more bearish, they'll end up seeing the market. You want to see Bitcoin hold level right now. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the long and short of it. That's my personal belief. Anyone got any other perception of that? You're welcome to put them in. And of course, I'll be giving a much more detailed rundown of everything that I'm going to end up re-listening back to it and taking notes. And when I do that, I'm going to give a much more in-depth rundown to my VIPs, as I tend to normally do after an FOMC meeting, just to give a perception on what Jerome Powell said as well. But I think that was for normal FOMC meetings for Jerome Powell. I think that was a better one than usual, which is reassuring. Next week's still going to be problematic though, because of Japan, so we can't get ahead of ourselves. Don't be emotional. Think logically. We're not out of the woods just yet. We're not out of danger just yet. But it's better, which is something that I'm looking forward to. Now with the last 15 minutes or so remaining of the live stream, we can now talk about these other elements real quickly. So, or before we do actually, let's get some questions real quick. LB says, I thought it's something about a financial model, the supply being distributed. Ada team only held 10%, which made it impeding to investors. I feel like I've missed a key element into why LB asked me that question earlier on. If you can remind me exactly what the context of the question was, LB, I'll provide you an answer, but unfortunately I can't remember. Welcome back, Nuckeith. Hope you're doing very, very well. I scanned that one as well and couldn't see it either. Okay, what am I scanned? If you're referring to this, then yeah, I mean, that's very much buried. So, oh no, you're talking about the HTX. Yes, you scanned this one, you couldn't see it. Yeah, I couldn't see it at all. I don't know. Some people were trying to point it out to me. Like zoom in more. Yeah, I don't see it. He highlighted that, which is here. I'm like, where's the K in that? So I'm like, yeah, people just be trolling. Honest, people just be trolling right now. HTX Asian or USA? HTX is an Asian exchange. Are they skipping 30 BPS? It's a good question, LB. I don't know. It makes it, the way they're talking about it makes it sound like they are going to skip it, but I don't know. I mean, frankly speaking, we did see the roadmap of 1 to 10 to 30 to 100, but Jonas and Polinsky very, very quickly was starting to say instead, just go 1, 10, 100. That doesn't mean they're going to skip 32. They might do an incremental step up, but 100 is the goal. So that's kind of the thought process. You might see 32 come beforehand though. I thought Vprogs is or will be rushed due to Kaspa being behind the bull run / adoption curve. I don't know much about cryptography, but I do know business. I'd rather have Kaspa take their time with Vprogs. And I've accepted that we're possibly not going to go to the moon to the bull run, but next 2030, I believe, is the next bull run. It's a good perception. My response to that is in agreement, but also to pick that apart. So I do agree that based on what information we have on hand, Vprogs might feel a little bit of rush, which is why Aspec is saying here, we have been talking about this in development for 1.5 years. And also we can get an MVP, which is just a kind of a safe enough version for the public to be released in the next 6 to 8 months. It won't be the full thing. You're not going to see the self-proclaimed full Vprogs coming out next year, at least unlikely. But even though just something to showcase how it works and for builders to get acquainted with it, that in itself is good. And that can hopefully come out in mid-2026. And I do agree that there may be an element of urgency because Kaspa, as Yoni's agreed as well, yeah, Kaspa is behind the adoption curve right now. And we need to catch back up to that, which is why he proposed the real-time decentralized internet money flows flywheel of a way to basically release 100 BPS, Vprogs, Dagnite, ZK opcodes, method distance and Oracle protocols, all these sort of stuff to be coming out and more to help bring more adoption into Kaspa. The reason why he's worried about that is because he stated in the Discord server, when Shai said that Vprogs would take 2 years to come out, Yoni basically just said, 2 years is kind of irrelevant, we don't really have 2 years. That's kind of what I heard from him. Now, will it be the case or not? I have to wait and see. I'm not worried about Kaspa right now. Black and white, that I'm not worried at all about Kaspa right now, especially if this does pan out the way that the core members are interpreting it to pan out, which is soon enough. And with Inco Labs coming out, Inco Labs itself could sustain Kaspa long enough before the core can get the developers out in time. So I'm not worried. I think Igra will do well. I think Kaspa could also start rallying up more so as well with a healthy competition between the two dexes, the two layer 2s. So that is something that I'm not too worried about. But I do agree Kaspa should take their time with it because they are trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not something easy to do, right? And yes, Mer's right, I was referring to CG about $10 Kaspa. And welcome back, Kryptoni, bro. I probably already said that, but now I'm getting to the questions, so I hope you're doing very, very well. And yeah, the Fed meeting, we've just gone through that as well right now. I'd like to hear people's thoughts on it more so as well to build on that. I know I did see someone say that Jerome Powell tends to normally screw up the questions for reporters, which of course I'm not listening to that right now. I'll probably, again, I'm going to re-listen to this back and nitpick things to get a better understanding on where the Fed's mindset currently is. And then we'll see how the markets react to that properly. Right now, the markets seem to equally be relatively unsure. And that is normal. You'll probably see once the meeting's done, and it's been a few minutes, few hours, people have caught up to it. People made their own interpretations. You then see the markets make a directive move. If it ends up being more hawkish leaning in the short term, or if it remains to be just uncertain for a little bit longer, we want to see Bitcoin hold above 92k. That's it. And that could then leave room for us to push up higher. If we don't, then we'll probably push down lower, and then lower lows could be on the horizon. It's not trying to be bearish, just trying to give you some realism into the situation. And you want to find out more to help become a better investor in that regard. I'll post everything about it in the VIP as well, and you'll be better acquainted with the market and prepared for the current shifts and movements taking place. QC, I have really enjoyed the last few streams. I've been following you on and off for since the beginning of the year, but I forgot this is a Cap and Maxi channel, right? I hope so anyways. I appreciate it very, very much for the support, 100%. And in response to the final question, I am a Cap and Maxi. I very, very much believe in Kaspa. That is no doubt. I believe in Kaspa a lot. I'm not a Kaspa channel. The name is Quick Crypto, not Quick Kaspa. I'm not a Kaspa channel. I will be occasionally talking about other projects. I haven't done so in quite some time because for me, Kaspa's been all my focus because there's so much going on right now that I need to be talking about it so I can remember it myself. I'll be talking about other projects again soon, projects I've already spoken about, like the Beck, bringing up probably some new ones as well I haven't spoken about before because I think they have room to go in the next, few months or so when the cycle takes off again. But yes, it's a predominantly Kaspa focus channel. It's not a Kaspa channel, but more so Kaspa focus. You'll be hearing some other people tuning into the channel soon enough as well. I'm trying to get some interviews sorted out for those who are actually in the community for Kaspa, who are building on it. So that'd be also quite intriguing to get a deeper insight into what's going on. But I appreciate the support very much and hopefully you stick around. And I can see Dylan posted something that Crypto took care of. Don't know what he spoke about, but I'm guessing, well, I can view it actually. British Kaspa sentiment in this market is for special people. Right, well, I mean, it's a fair comment to make if you want to believe in that way. Crypto is right, keep things respectful. If you're going to say it like that, try not to use that sort of language at the very least. The R word for special people. But again, when I've been talking about Kaspa, especially recently, which is why I think the viewer base has started to solidify, maybe not grow so much, but it's been a lot more the same people coming back time and time again because people have come to learn that I'm not going to just spread you FOMO and rubbish. Of course that sells. I know that sells, and there's a part of me that wants to do that so I can just get views and just get clicks. But I want to build a community that's going to believe in what's being taking place, the education, and basically with that make better decisions and be better prepared for what's to come. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, purely just educational content, so you've got to do your own research. But I don't want you to be given a false pretense of what's going on. And again, to shamelessly plug it, which crypto knows you want to put the links in now, you can do. I've got a free Discord server, which you can tune in for free. Links down below in the description, which you can chill chat and learn more about crypto and Kaspa continuously in there. Equally, I've got my VIP here, so much more going on in there. Again, I'll be posting updates with regard to macroeconomic news and the Fed update later on today in there. We do live streams every single Sunday, which gives a lot of more in-depth rundown of what's taking place in the general crypto market and financial markets and how that incorporate into the project we're looking at. I posted a document earlier today, which was talking on, let me just double check. It was quite a big name, I believe. It was from Two Birds, and Two Birds is a very, very large international law firm who's known for their expertise in technology, digital, and IP law, and it has roots dating back to the 1846. So they are a very well established and very well trusted law firm, international law firm, and they provide some very, very big insight into regards to GPU and on-chain financing. Which, if you could do the connections, which we put in the VIP, this correlates to solutions they could be looking for, which BitTensor is a good shout for that, Kaspa is a good shout for that, and there are other AI-related projects like Render as well, also a good shout. You can find that information here in the VIP, alongside trades put in there as well, and a lot more. all linked down below in the description. You've got a 7-day free trial, and equally, if you sign up to BYDFI, you can get a 1-month free trial as well before you decide if you want to sign up or not. If you need help with any of that, just reach out to me on Discord and I'll get you set up as soon as possible. 6 months is too fast. That's the thing. It does sound too fast. But then when you read through what Crypto Aspect's saying here, they said they've been researching and developing, doing R&D for 1.5 years now. So when you think about that in the general scheme of things, that means this has been ongoing. This would be a 2 to 2.5 year process. That doesn't sound too long. Of course, the process of actually getting it, from the start, actually building it. Right now, it's still in research development stage, so it's still in the research element. It's really, really early still. But if they've kind of got the blueprint that they've been drawing up for 2 years finalized on paper, and they implement it and it all works in accordance with their plans, again, we did see Aspect say there's no red flags in that regard. So if that is the case, then that's 2.5 years of research development and releasing MVP of Vprogs. That's not too long at all. 6 months is fast. 2.5 years is not, in my belief. When does Old Man Power talk? I mean, yeah, sorry, I'm very late to the questions now because I wanted to get this all done accordingly. Of course, I know some people namely Gozu is going to be wanting to tip off very quickly to watch the Man City Real Madrid game, which I will try not to overlap with. So I will also try and wrap this up quite quickly. I'll post all my sources in the free Discord server. So go check out the free community. You can tune into all of that stuff there as well. And I'll post a video later tonight as well, or either tomorrow. Just again breaking down this source that we spoke about in the stream as well. But yeah, that's Power's always spoken now. What did everyone forget? I mean, that's something else I already said. Kaspa's already had an incredible run. People say Kaspa's terrible right now, but it's already had an incredible run. Kaspa, from last bull cycle to current bull cycle, Kaspa is the best performer, or one of the best performers. And it's come down, 75% or so since its peak in 2024. But it's still one of the best performers in the 4-year time frame. So it's a big, big pullback. Doesn't mean it's dead. The tokenomics are less than a year from taking over at the TA. Yeah. True. More questions real quickly. I've definitely missed quite we did a very, very run. It is time for adoption right now, I agree. For the security budget, I agree. I mean, that's what the Kaspa core is saying as well. We need to support the security budget right now, we need adoption. It's done an incredible run so far. We hopefully can see the developments take shape that can continue funding Kaspa. Welcome back, Falco. You're doing very, very well. Thank you very much as well, Thomas, for the compliment. I try. Late like that's a crazy comment, baby daddy, but welcome back. You did very, very well. There was a section removed that confirmed that QT was ended 1st of December. Yeah, so QT did end December 1st, but ending QT does generally correlate to the start of QE, but it's not end QT, start QE immediately. It's right now. Jerome Powell and the Fed have ended QT, which he announced, as we heard him announce in that Fed meeting. They've ended the QT and quantitative tightening, and they're now they're trying to support the sticky inflation and also the slowing down the job market. They're trying to support both. So they're not if they inject liquidity into the market, it will send inflation up. So they can't really do that. They're trying to thread that needle again. Yeah, Bingo's right. He's like trying to thread the needle right now. So they kind of left it neutral, which is better than QT. Hopefully that does eventually correlate to QE. We'll have to wait and see how long that takes though. Jay, what's the site where you can see a wallet average buy? So there is a website, I think Kaspa Lens is the one that created one. There was another website before that I know Andy A used to tell me about and use. But Kaspa Lens has got his Kaspa domain he created right here. And you can see as you scroll down on the dashboard, got wallets here on the right. You can click Entity X. And it shows you the average entry price. It's a new UI website. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but I'm going to take it at face value on whether it is accurate. So average price for wallet 1 is about 10 cents right now. So you can see that right here. I mean, you can see it is relatively accurate. You can see all of the recent inflows yesterday. You saw, so it is updating in like real time. So it is evidently working. So this is probably accurate then. We track the maximum amount of 10,000 transactions per wallet, performance data management. Oh, so it's only based on, okay, so no. For the large exchange wallets, the wallets with many transactions, the statistics shown here are based on only the most recent 1,000 tracked transactions. So again, it's relatively accurate, but it's not taking into account all that happened previously, which, I mean, it could put actually the average price higher, who knows? I'm not sure how many transactions this wallet's actually done. Oh, here you go. C36. So no, actually this is complete. This should be completely accurate then. Next time, just ask him if he's asking. Oh, I will. 100% I will. I mean, I was having some conversation with him and I was in and around him. He is a very friendly person. Very intellectual, very friendly, very humble. So again, it was just, you know, it's the nerves you have when you meet someone who, you know, you look up to, you admire. He's a very intellectual figure. He's not a celebrity, but he's a founder of a project that we all believe in. So being around him, I was like, wow, that's surreal. I went from just being some guy behind my computer, being in the community space, to seeing the founder. That is a big step, and I want to continue growing. I'm greedy. I mean, yeah, it's always possible. I mean, we're seeing the markets right now are still very much unsure where to move. Maybe the questions the questions he's answering right now is going to cause some more headwinds, knowing Powell. I also agree. I wouldn't do so either. Next time I will definitely take a picture of him. Next time you'll see me take a picture with him and I'll post it slap bang on my Twitter straight away and in my Discord and in my VIP. And I'll put it in my community tab here on my post. I'll put it everywhere. If I take a picture of some Polinsky, when I do, I will let you all know. You'll see it first and foremost. I'll show it on stream as well. Screw it. I'll do it everywhere. But I'll try and find the picture. There was a group picture. Maybe the KF posted it. I'm going to wrap up very, very quickly for those who want to tune into the game. I think KF might have posted a group picture. Oh no, it wasn't KF. It was it was someone who worked for the KF. Lillian. She posted it. How far back I've got to go, though, is the question. There you go. That's me there. There's Sumpy. And that's everyone else who was in attendance. A lot of people from Wolfies are there as well. From Crumpet Media there as well. The Kaspa family there. And there's some Polinsky as well. I think Pavel was... Yeah, Pavel's right there. He's got the projector right in his face, but Pavel's right there. The founder of the co-founder of Ecolabs right there. Goats, a lot of them. Yeah, there's a lot of people who did photos on Polinsky, and you saw it here, Lillian as well. She took a photo with him. And yeah, this is like how he's always like, you know? Yeah, there are some other stuff that I could have covered today's stream, but I'm going to wrap up quickly because I'm also starving. I've got bangers and mash for dinner, and I need to eat that before it gets cold. But I will provide all sorts in the physical server, and I'll talk about more of it tomorrow, and also make a video that'll be going live in soon enough, and you'll be seeing all of that as well. You did not miss the Vprogs news, I don't believe. Pesky Poo, what a name. I also posted about it on my Twitter here as well, so you can see the long and short of it about what the Vprogs news was going to be. We should hopefully see a minimal viable product in mid-2026, which would be huge. Oh, fair enough. I mean, I have not actually heard too much about it either, so that's the case, and that is a good insight. Thank you very much for that, Cryptone. Welcome back, Wyatt, bro. You're doing very, very well, my man. Yeah, completely agree as well. I think Igra, I mean, the best part of Igra is going to be someone who's going to hopefully just sustain Kaspa, the fees, the security budget, until everything else catches up. That's like, for me, the scenario I think is going to happen. And then you'll see Kaspa hopefully start to compete with that properly, and you see the actual ecosystem for Kaspa start to build more, grow more, and that'll hopefully subsidize Kaspa's miners as well. And yeah, no, it is wild. It is crazy. And yeah, I know. I understand the premise of why you deleted the comment and why you gave him a warning, and I think you're completely right to do that. That's why I said if you use a different term, if you use a different language, then I wouldn't be as bothered by it. But it's the language you used about it. So I don't disagree with how you handled that at all. I think that was perfect. So thank you very much, brother. Hopefully, but you have to wait and see, right? We have to wait and see. The markets right now, seems like he's trying to hustle the needle, and he's they've been saying neutral, and now he's saying high neutral. So yeah, he's bringing in this hawkish undertone right now, which is not ideal. It's not ideal right now. We'll see how the markets react very, very soon. Michael Sutton did say he wants to release both at the same time. We'll have to wait and see. We haven't got any further updates right now. My interpretation right now is unlikely to see both at the same time. It'd be a nice thing to see both come out in the same hard fork, but I don't think it's going to happen. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll see in the next couple of months or couple of weeks with more developments and research and stuff posted on the GitHub and Discord about it. But that being said, family, that's going to conclude today's Kaspa and Crypto live stream. If you enjoyed, leave a like, share with your friends, subscribe for more. Check out BYDFI for a 30-day free trial to the VIP and get a 7-day free trial as well. A lot more information going on in there. You can learn a lot more, so check that out. You've got a free Discord server as well where you can just chill, chat, learn more for free. And you can also learn everything else regarding BYDFI and the Discord community and the VIP in there. So check that out as well. Free of charge, might as well check it out. And you can learn more about crypto and Kaspa at the same time. And then follow me on Twitter. I'm being more active on there as well. We're posting, but that'd be just kind of general shit posting or even actual informative content in regards to what's happening in Kaspa, the Vprog updates, this sort of stuff, or equally alpha documentation that I do occasionally post snippets about as well to give further insights. So you got a little bit of an inkling of what's going on in the VIP, and hopefully would be intrigued enough to want to learn more and level up your knowledge. But that being said, family, have a good day, good evening, and good night. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care now.